In my defense, it deflected towards midgets after talking about George Washington. Okay. So,
I mean, that's a perfectly normal segue to have. Stop it. Welcome to the Naked Apple.
All of our splendor.
Yeah. I was going to make a joke about not knowing we were supposed to be recording in the nude, but I decided against it.
Now everyone's...
Wait. You said splendor.
Yes.
Yes. Precisely.
Filters are wonderful things.
Did that AI just put clothes on him? Yes. Say thank you.
My eyes. My eyes.
Welcome to yet another week.
Another week. Feels extra long for us because, well, it was. Since the last time we recorded. It's a whole extra day.
Another day, another loss of dollars.
Oh, just makes you feel...
How does it make you feel knowing that your dollar is worth less than it was when they cut the check to you?
Patriotic.
Patriotic.
I think that's the word.
I'm looking
for there is patriotic.
That's a word for it.
That's a word.
That's a word for it. Sounds about right.
That's too high. That's too low.
Dollar
That's
saved
just
is
right.
much, much less than a dollar earned. Because a dollar earned is much, much less than a dollar earned.
Yes. However, a dollar invested in a congressional investment account, that's, well, depending on who you're going with, Nancy Pelosi is plus 80%.
Oh, gosh.
On investments. And I can't remember who it was, but they're plus 300-something% on investments. S&P 500 for a baseline is like plus 10 to 15-ish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you're like 8 to 16 plus, you're doing really well.
Yeah.
On your investments.
And that's generally because the market as a whole is doing really well.
Yeah.
But when the market's in a downswing, hey, it's easy to get 300% investments when you're on committees that are questioning people that are in charge of military-based companies as you're about to declare war.
If only we could give the GameStop treatment to all of our politicians. Short sells.
Short sell.
Not short selling as a whole. Short selling as a whole has its place. Ooh. But anything that our politicians short sell should get the GameStop treatment.
Anytime politicians try to pass a bill that sends money that we don't have, the money comes from their accounts.
There you go. Beautiful. From their investments?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sign that into law. Make it a constitutional amendment.
Perfect.
They'll never sign on to it. Why?
Why? Because they don't want to foot that bill. Then why should the rest of us?
Uh-huh. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, if they're going to spend money we don't have, then they should foot the bill. Yeah, that makes sense. Why won't they pass it? Well, we're not making backdoor deals and everything. Oh, okay. You won't worry about us passing a law that says that you absolutely cannot do that in any way, shape, or form.
Yes.
No, we're going to block that law. Oh.
My favorite quote from any politician recently was Johnson's little faux pas that wasn't a faux pas. He said it exactly the way he meant it.
Speaker Mike Johnson?
Yes, Speaker Mike Johnson.
With a biblical worldview?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, the one who stated the House has done its will. And that's exactly the problem, Mike.
Sauron?
Sauron. When I first saw the statement, I was like, "There's never been a more truthful statement by a politician ever."
Well, I mean, there was the one Democrat guy that said Ukraine's border is our border.
Oh yeah, there's that.
Did he mean our as in the United States, or did he mean our as in the money laundering scheme that he's involved with?
Yes.
What was the other one? Oh, Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrat minority leader in the House, stating that I think it was him. It was either him or some other Democrat said that they will do everything in their power to stop the ousting of Mike Johnson. Why? Why? You like him there? Huh? Is he passing all your policies with you getting zero attention for it? Yeah, okay. Anyway, all that funness aside, if you feel the need in today's wonderful world, it's maybe time to get tactical. Redemption Tactical can be your fix.
Yes.
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 Yes, with their tactical attire, everything from plate carriers and swag to lovely patches and everything in between. Redemption Tactical, link below. With all that, I think it's time for our weekly dose. That is my thing to do.
I was gonna say. I was waiting to see if you botched it again or not.
Nope, I got it.
Are we gonna push it at the same time? Welcome to your vitamin B.
Thank you.
Where we avoid the most minuscule amounts of work just because we can. It's called
Thank you for
winning.
that.
Speaking of winning, DeSantis unveils massive circus cannon that will launch pro-Hamas protesters all the way to Gaza.
Is that a pay-per-view or something? Because
Should be.
awesome.
Should be.
I am on board.
Speaking of cannons and accidental fires, Alec Baldwin tired of everyone screaming, "Look out!" and diving to the ground every time he reaches for his cell phone.
That's a beautiful transition.
Nobody is a fan of a loose cannon there, Baldwin.
Oof.
Abraham, pretty sure this feud between Ishmael and Isaac will blow over soon. He was quoted as saying, "I don't think it will be a long-term thing. They're half-brothers. These types of family fights pop up from time to time. It's pretty common, I think. I think usually. And it's not like something's going to be carried over by their descendants and remain an issue for thousands of years. That'd be ridiculous.
Impossible.
Impossible." On another note, oops, Columbia University president accidentally gives Nazi salute when being sworn in for congressional testimony.
Damn it, Jim. That's one of our inside salutes.
That's one of our insights. Speaking of Columbia University students have recently rejected a two-campus solution. They were not a fan.
Shocker. I'm shocked. Shocked.
Yes, aren't we all? No, we're not.
Not even the slightest.
Not a little bit. Columbia admins promised to carefully investigate whether "Let's kill every Jew we see on campus" chant violates school's conduct policy.
Well, you don't want to be jumping to conclusions there. You got to understand the full context of what they're saying.
Yes.
I believe is what the testimony was before Congress.
Generally speaking. In other news, a man sets himself on fire to show how his side is the sane and rational one.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. In completely unrelated news, Hillary Clinton condemns Trump for paying hush money to political liabilities instead of just having them killed.
I mean, one is cheaper than the other, presumably.
Presumably.
And dead men tell no tales.
Yeah. As many of you know, Earth Day is rapidly approaching, and America has decided to honor it once again this year by recycling used presidential candidates.
That's one green movement at a time. Okay. I got my Earth tree up, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Really?
Yeah, with the twinkling lights and the oil wells and
the oil wells. No,
yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Just making sure.
Little coal plant powering the twinkly lights. It's nice.
Yeah.
Just as God intended.
Just as yeah. On the note of Earth Day, speaking of things that are ridiculous, Biden claims his uncle's heart was ripped out during a human sacrifice ritual in India.
Sounds odd.
Doesn't it, though?
Yes.
House Republicans demand new speaker who will be equally worthless, but maybe with different hair or a cool mustache or something.
It's fair. Fair. Yeah, if you're going to be terrible, at least look nice.
Right.
Yeah.
And shortly after this revelation, we had something that wasn't quite as shocking. Mike Johnson unzipped skin suit, revealing he was Kevin McCarthy all along.
I knew it!
And he would have gotten away with it, too, if it weren't for those meddling kids and their stupid dog.
So close.
So close. Now, this has been your Vitamin B.
That's me again.
That is you again.
Nailed it.
You want to know something really funny that isn't a Babylon Bee article?
Not the bee.
Yeah, not the bee. So there is a university in Michigan.
Sorry.
Concordia University, Michigan. Mm-hmm. Yes, Concordia University, Michigan. That's the name of the school.
Like Flight of the Conchords, Concordia?
Yep, Concordia University, Michigan. Their mascot is the Cardinals, and their new merch is their initials. Concordia University, Michigan.
CU.
CUM.
Gotcha. Got it. Yep.
Come Cardinals. Come Cardinals.
That's definitely being sold out.
Yes, indeed. And another note, minors are no longer allowed on campus over there. It's a Catholic school, by the way, in case you didn't know.
Oof. It's one of those things. It was either 100% intentional or 100% innocent. No in between. There is zero in between on something like that.
I don't know. I don't know how you could not be.
It could be a mix of both. It could be the person that created it 100% knew what they were doing. And it was innocent people above them that approved it.
Sorry, it's not Catholic. It's Christian. It's a Lutheran university.
Oh, okay. That's different. And it could be a blend. Absolutely a blend.
Yeah.
Okay. No, there's one Babylon Bee article I saw over the last couple of weeks. It was a bombshell report that Matt Walsh actually did know what a woman was this whole time. I had a good hearty har over that one. So I had to share.
That one's pretty good. That one is pretty good.
It's all a sham. He knew what it was the whole time.
Well, he is a judge, and they're taught never to ask a question they don't already know the answer to.
I'm just asking questions.
Just asking questions. Wait. That's not a thing judges are taught. He's a judge. Well, he judges people, so that's close enough.
Well, in was it Washington or Oregon, you can pass the bar without actually passing the bar.
Well, apparently in Utah, you can run for AG without passing the bars. So.
There's that. There's that.
You just can't hold the office.
I pinky promise that I'll
until you pass the bar.
After you vote for me.
I swear I will pass the bar before being put in office. I promise. I promise.
Promise.
I mean, it's funny. It's a good laugh. He actually he has passed the bar in another state. It just doesn't have reciprocity with Utah.
No, it does.
Oh, does it?
It's been over 10 years since he moved to Utah.
Has it been?
And never did anything with it.
Aha.
Which brings into question, how serious are you about
I don't know. The only thing I really know is that anybody that Governor Cox sponsors is the exact opposite of the person that I want to vote for.
Correct. King Friday. What if he sponsors Mike Lee?
And that isn't
then that's him trying to grift.
That isn't a direct jab at the AG that he is sponsoring.
It's not a direct jab, but it's definitely a direct jab.
It's not a direct jab. It's more of a right hook.
The corrective course, if you will. You ignored the attention I was trying to give you, so here's my repercussion.
I'm not testing the defenses with that one. That was all in. That's all that is.
The jab is the phone call. We've been trying to reach you about your car's warranty.
That's right.
The right hook is the emails and the phone calls and everything else and knocking on your door. Anyway, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, good. So it's going to be a long episode.
6 headlines. Your optimism is overwhelming.
I said long.
Your optimism is overwhelming.
Last time we only had 5 tabs. We talked for 2 hours. So,
in my defense, it deflected towards midgets after talking about George Washington. Okay. So,
I mean, that's a perfectly normal segue to have. There is nothing unusual about...
That just might be the snippet at the front of the show now.
Finally, you get to be at the front of the show instead of me?
I might be the highlight.
I might be the highlight. Well, the midgets, sir, weren't.
This could be a short episode.
Are we going to talk more about midgets? Is that... Okay. No. Enough segues. They can't reach the handle.
They can't reach the handle.
That's a heightest. My wife showed me a short earlier today that was this midget comes out of this truck and is walking around, and this guy walks out of the house and looks at him, and then walks back in the house and walks back out, and he's like 2 feet shorter. And it's a dude who lost both of his legs, and he has these stubby prosthetics that he wears when he's playing with his kids.
Midget by choice.
Oh, I was
kind.
dying. It was hilarious.
That's great.
Yes.
Well, outside of that,
Okay, the humor is dead. Now we have to talk about politics.
well, some of it's humorous
Oh, is it?
in a bad way.
Oh,
Not funny, ha ha, just funny.
humorous, like as in
Your humorous bone is cracked in half.
that's
Yes. Yeah.
Everybody knows that feeling.
Everyone does. So
They call it the funny bone because everybody laughs when you smack it on something.
it's true. It is very true. So with all that in mind, all of what we're about to talk about could be summed up in a very lovely push of a button that sounds like this.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
Wait for the follow-up on that one. I have, to start us off, I tried to think of 4 outright, but 3 of them that we're actually covering, because I was trying to think of like a Mount Rushmore of the dumbest election laws in the United States. Dumbest.
Oh, yes.
And this was all sparred by something that happened like last week or the week before. And so we're going in historical order with the 17th Amendment. Dumb, in my opinion.
Okay.
17th Amendment was senators are voted on by popular vote instead of the state legislatures.
Oh, you
Electing
mean
the
when they
senators.
effectively tried to make us a democracy?
Correct. So the background of it is people were getting upset that senators were keeping the House from passing laws. That's the gist of it. That's the TLDR. James Wilson was the only member of the Constitutional Convention who supported electing the United States Senate by popular vote. So one of the founding fathers thought this was a good idea. Yeah, so we should do it. There are many founding fathers that thought slavery was a good idea. So should we do that? There's more than one. Anyway, so the original setup was supposed to be state legislatures get together and they elect a representative for the state to be in the Senate. 2
You elect your legislatures, they select a
2 senators to represent the state.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the people elect the people of the House, where there is a representation proportional to the number of people. At least there used to be.
Yes.
And to a degree, I'm okay with putting a cap on that because I don't think it's wise to have a building filled with a couple of thousand people trying to cast votes and write laws with the issues we're having with the 500 already there right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so some of the real issues. Those in favor of popular elections for senators believe 2 primary problems were caused by the original provisions: legislative corruption and electoral deadlocks. Good thing there's no legislative corruption now. They fixed that. Oh. There was a sense that senatorial elections were bought and sold, changing hands or for favors and sums of money rather than because of the competence of the candidate. Between 1857 and 1900, the Senate investigated 3 elections over corruption. In 1900, for example, William A. Clark had his election voided after the Senate concluded that he had bought votes in the Montana legislature. Oh, that sounds pretty bad. But conservative analysts Bybee and Todd Zywicki believe this concern was largely unfounded. Oh, so they didn't like him because of his policies. There was a dearth of hard information on the subject. In more than a century of legislative elections, U.S. senators, only 10 cases were contested for allegations of impropriety. Electoral deadlocks were another issue because state legislatures were charged with deciding whom to appoint as senators. The system relied on their ability to agree. Oh, no. Some states could not, and thus delayed sending senators to Congress. In a few cases, the system broke down to the point where states completely lacked representation in the Senate. What a shame. That'd be a damn shame if California had 0 representation in the Senate, wouldn't it? And then currently, right now, Utah basically has 0 representation in the Senate because we have Mike Lee and Mitt Romney who vote against each other constantly. So Utah basically doesn't exist in the Senate. And we're not the only state. But good thing they got rid of the deadlocks. Deadlock started to become an issue in the 1850s with a deadlocked Indiana legislature allowing a Senate seat to sit vacant for 2 years.
And yet?
And the tipping point, however, since you asked, came in 1865 with the election of John P. Stockton from New Jersey, which happened after the New Jersey legislature changed its rules regarding the definition of a quorum and was thus by plurality instead of by absolute majority. So because New Jersey found a way to fix their issue of not having representation, we need to change the whole system. Yeah.
In all honesty, making it a plurality vote, it eliminates the deadlock problem they were having.
Yeah. Yeah, the Constitution, let's see, it's Article 1, Section 3, Clause 1 and 2, is how they're elected. And if I remember correctly, it doesn't state how they have to be chosen. It just says
it's up to the states to decide.
Has to decide.
Yeah, legislature has to. So that was perfectly within the state's legislature to make that change. And plurality just means that the person that gets the most votes wins, regardless of whether or not they have a majority.
Yeah.
So if you have a 3-vote split, you have some people that aren't voting, you have some people that are voting against, some people that are voting for. If the people that are voting for have
the most votes,
they win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's not very representative. It's more representative than not having representation.
Seems like it's a lot more representative than not. Yeah, exactly.
I also dove into this because of this Saturday is the convention for Utah.
Oh, good.
Where the delegates across the state get together and cast their votes for who they think should be the primary person to represent the Republican Party until the primary, where the people get to override anything that the delegates decide anyway.
Yay?
Oh, speaking of the AG that Cox is endorsing.
Brown or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a primary only candidate. He's not at the convention. Shocker. Yeah.
It's almost as if they don't want any publicized
he doesn't
dissent.
He doesn't want to get to the primary with 10% of the delegates voting for him on his coattails. Yeah, doesn't want that luggage dragging behind him.
Yeah.
Anyways, call for reform. And this is a bunch of mumbo jumbo of different people through the years doing stuff, and it finally gained traction around the time of a certain president. Can you guess?
Wilson.
Wilson.
What? I didn't even try. I like there's like 3 that it could be. It's basically Wilson or Roosevelt, right?
Right. And this, you had some clues with, let's see, we're starting in the 1800s, so Wilson.
So Wilson, right.
Yes, William Jennings Bryan was one of the main guys pushing, and he was on Wilson's cabinet, Secretary of State. And he also ran for president multiple times before Wilson, under Wilson's party. Yeah, they pushed it through.
Of course they did. What would America be like if you just removed everything Wilson did?
I believe those pictures we saw from the 50s and 60s with all the flying cars and everything.
Something along those lines?
Something along those lines, I think. Because I was, on the drive here, I was listening to one of the talk show things I listened to. And how I thought it'd be nice to be able to talk about this subject. It'd be nice to talk about that subject. And then I started thinking, the fact that you don't know everything, the fact that there is not enough time to talk about everything that the federal government is doing tells me that the federal government is way too big.
Yes.
Yeah, but how well? It's way too big. As I'll show you with couple of these later stories. But yeah, this amendment finally passed when basically Republicans were kicked out of the Senate, and then the Democrats had majority control. And so they passed the amendment in the Senate. Utah being the only state that rejected the amendment.
Yes. And then Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Mississippi, South Carolina, Virginia, Alaska, and Hawaii all
Taken zero action.
took no action. Alaska and Hawaii weren't states at the time,
Yes.
but since they've become states, they have taken no action.
Yeah. So because of that, the lay person who pays almost no attention to politics has just as much of a voice as the person who's paying complete attention to politics and understands the corruption going on and votes for someone that, say, I don't know, has some sort of moral character versus the person who has no idea but recognizes the name and votes for that person. Yay.
You can't stand on the ground of moral character. You're voted for Trump.
And you're voting for?
Neither.
Neither.
I'm voting for neither.
Meteor. Where's that meteor?
Meteor 2024. Just a picture of Sephiroth.
Bring the rain.
That's it. I'm making a new bumper sticker. It's Genova 2024.
Genova.
Calamity from the skies for the win.
For the win. Coming off the top rope.
Did you ever play Final Fantasy VII?
I did not. I could not get into the Final Fantasies.
So the storyline of Final Fantasy VII is awesome, but the summary behind that joke is essentially Genova is a goddess from a different world that her planet was destroyed and she was hurtled through space and crashed into this other planet, became a cancer in the planet and was essentially killing everything. Mm-hmm. And a corporation found her remains and started making super soldiers with her genes.
Oh.
Yeah. And then one of the super soldiers went rogue and summoned a meteor to destroy the planet.
Nice.
Yes. So, calamity from the skies.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Eyes
All
have
right.
it.
The ayes have it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's dumbest election law. The first. Because now the layperson who wasn't paying attention before can pay even less attention to the politics going on around them while still asking questions. Why does my gas keep going up? Why are my groceries more expensive?
I thought that sentence was going to be something else for a second.
I've heard it both ways.
It's not supposed to hurt, is it?
Yeah. Why is housing so expensive? I can't afford to live. I'm going to vote for a Democrat.
Ever since I went to ever since I went to vote, I haven't been able to sit down right. I don't understand.
It's as if a million souls cried out at once.
It's all right. My gas hurts too.
Yeah. Well, in Utah's case, it's why does all this stuff keep getting more expensive? I'm going to vote for Romney.
Well, he's LDS, so
He's LDS.
He's got to be a good guy.
He's good. He did the Olympics. He helped with the Olympics.
He helped with the Olympics.
He used to be governor of Massachusetts. Why is my stuff so much more expensive? Romney, fix it.
Mitt Romney style.
That was a thing.
that was the best thing that came out of that entire election. It's still one of my all-time favorite videos.
Yeah.
Mitt Romney style.
Yeah. Now, we get to what's more related to what I'm about to do this weekend. Do you remember Count My Vote in Utah?
Vaguely.
So I was digging into SB 54, which is the Senate bill that makes it so you can get signatures or you can go the convention route instead of just the convention route. Count My Vote Utah was the group behind the push for SB 54. Mm-hmm. And I remember this now. As soon as I saw that, all these synapses started firing in my brain for when I was at Utah State, trying to figure out why I was paying money for stuff I would never use. Finally figured it out.
Because you decided to go to college?
Right. So I finally figured it out after semester the second.
That took longer than it should have.
Well, kind of, because it started with the first semester. I was like, this whole biology thing and art for doing engineering,
Well, you got to be able to draw.
I don't get that. Right. So my drafting class should qualify for art.
You would think.
No, you have to take a well-rounded. And then I found a tech school and a trade school, and I'm making more money than I would have.
Good.
If I did the other route, and I have no debt. Before Joe Biden started canceling debt. So I'm just crossing my fingers for that retroactive debt forgiveness. That'll never happen. Yeah, neither would the blanket sweep of school debt forgiveness. Anyway, Count My Vote was on campus, as well as probably every other campus on Utah, because that's the best place to get all the signatures you need to start any kind of stupid movement, because universities are full of stupid people. Case in point, go look at any of the protests going on right now.
You just gestured to all of them.
And? And this one guy stopped me and said, hey, you want to sign this? Sign what? Oh, we're just getting signatures to change how the elections are done in Utah. So what do you mean how they're done? Well, we're trying to get it so instead of doing the caucus system, it's just a primary system. And I said, well, that sounds dumb. He said, well, don't you want your vote to count? I said, it already does count. No, it doesn't count because in the caucus system, just people get in there and you don't get to choose anything. I said, have you ever been to a caucus?
Obviously not.
No, I haven't, but I know how they work. Because if you've been to one, you'd know how it works. Because you get to show up with your neighbors and decide with your neighbors who's the best choice. And whoever you think is the best choice, you then decide who's the best choice to pick that best choice.
And then you send that person to make that choice.
And then you can hold them accountable because they're your neighbor. You see them every day.
Yes.
And you say, hey, John, how'd that vote go? Oh, I voted for this person instead. Well, good luck borrowing my lawnmower from me again.
Yes.
That's quite accountable. So, doing it this other way makes it so more people can get on the ballot. In the current system, you can get on the ballot by showing up at the convention and saying you want to be a nominee for whatever race.
Yes.
The guy lost on every front with me. And I finally wriggled out of him. I said, how long have you been doing this? Oh, I just came here from Wyoming. Oh!
He's not even from Utah.
You were paid to come to Utah to put a system in place where people have to pay to be elected. Because the current system, you have to gather signatures. Gathering signatures, people aren't just going to volunteer all higgledy-piggledy across the state to get the signatures you need. You have to pay them to go out and be your voice and talk to people to get signatures. Whereas the convention style, you just say, hey, I'm hosting this thing at this person's house. If you want to come hear what I have to say, I'll be saying it there and ask me questions. Well, that's only for delegates. No, that's for anybody. Anybody can show up, not just the delegate. Even at the convention on the weekend, anyone can show up, but only the delegates can vote because, well, that's what the communities elected them to do, was to show up and vote.
Yes. But
you can show up, see the process.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with the caucus system. Here it is. You have to show up to something. You have to...
Well, yeah.
You have to go.
Yeah, if you don't
put in an effort.
If you don't go to the caucus, your vote and your voice is not going to count because
right. And see, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
They should make mail-in caucuses.
Yes, and I believe Utah's primary turnout is pathetic.
Yes.
And it's interesting too because the way that Utah's system was set up was if a candidate did not receive a majority of votes, not a plurality, but a majority, they had to get 60%, I think it was, 70%. If they did not receive 70%, no, wait, I think it's 60. Yes, 60. If they did not reach the 60% threshold with the delegates, then the top candidates went to a primary vote, and then the people of the state voted in the primary for the person. Seems reasonable. The benefit of that was it got Orrin frickin' Hatch to resign, to stop running for elections, because in his final bout as senator, he didn't know it was his final. At least he didn't say until afterwards. He did not reach the 60% threshold and therefore had to be primaried. And he still won because, the lay voter said, oh, I recognize Hatch. We can't let that seniority leave the state. That's important to keep that seniority in the Senate or the state won't have any say in the stupid arguments. The reason why he had any kind of power is because he was playing the game. But, you actually have to take the time to pay attention and research what he's actually doing, what he's voting for, and who has time for that with baseball games, work, all that fun stuff with the kids. Yeah, everyone's got time to make informed decisions on who should be representing them. So dumb election law number 2. Now, this one happened just a bit ago. And it's probably the stupidest law I've ever seen passed. Maine has just passed a law that their electors will go to the national popular vote.
So then why would anybody in their state vote?
Correct. You're just handing it over to California.
You want to talk about your
York.
vote counting. Maine's votes no longer count.
Null
the people
and
in their
void.
state are completely null and void. They don't matter.
Now, this AP article, it doesn't say the other states that have done this, and I didn't care to look it up because they're all stupid, I'm sure. Oh, 2 states. No, never mind. That's different. But so they did this because they don't have a ranked voting system. So let's just hand it all off. We're not able to do ranked voting, so let's just hand it off to the national vote instead. So this won't play a role in this election, but it will play a role in future elections. Now, let's see, where did it say it? Dang it. Somewhere in here it says, I think they're upset because they split their electoral vote with Donald Trump. They weren't too happy about that, I guess. It's my guess. But anyways, it's mentioned somewhere in here that 2 of the last 4 presidential candidates became president without the popular vote. I wonder which 2 they were. So it sounds like Maine's basically doing this because they hated that they split the vote with Donald Trump, their electoral votes with Donald Trump. Damn that part of the state that is conservative and voted for Donald Trump. Let's just take all of our voices away. So a hypothetical here for you, Maine. Donald Trump, Joe Biden running for office, running for president. Maine votes 100% for Joe Biden. Miraculously receives 100% of the votes. Joe Biden. Donald Trump wins the popular vote by 1 vote.
And all of your electoral votes go to Trump.
Donald Trump. Congratulations, Maine. You played yourself. Like a damn fiddle.
Well, yes, but it won't be Biden versus Trump in 2020.
Oh, it'll just be the next Hitler.
It'll be the next, yes.
The next
It'll be
literally
the
Hitler.
Antichrist versus...
Ron DeSantis is
the
worse
other
than
one.
Donald Trump. Or something.
something.
Yeah.
Who knows? Nobody really cares anymore.
Still recognizing that there is merit to both sides of the argument and recognizing that this measure has been the subject of public discussion several times before in Maine, I would like this important nationwide debate to continue, and so I will allow this bill to become law without my signature, the governor said in a statement. Way to take a stand, Governor.
I just love the point. I love the fact that the governor said, she said, let's see, where is it here? I just saw it a second ago. The role of small states like Maine could be diminished if the Electoral College ends.
So you're going to end the Electoral College?
No. She's going to end the role of small states like Maine by just giving their electoral votes to the popular vote rather than actually having them use their electoral votes the way that their people are voting.
Surrendering them to the wills of the major populations of California, Illinois, Texas, and Florida. I'm sure that'll work out real nice for them. Idiots. The compact would take effect only if supporters secure pledges of states with at least 270 electoral votes. 16 states and Washington, D.C. have joined the compact, and Maine's addition would bring the total to 209, the governor said. Other hurdles include questions of whether congressional approval is necessary to implement the compact. 16 states and Washington, D.C. is 209, so that means they got some big states in there.
Mm-hmm. Essentially, what they're trying to do is bypass the electoral vote without bypassing the electoral vote. By making it so that because you're talking 209 electoral votes now are going to go to the popular vote regardless of what the people voted in those states. So you have 16 states in this compact and Washington, D.C., who now the people there, their votes literally don't matter. Because the majority will win every time, regardless of what the people actually wanted. Regardless of what... electoral votes and republics and things like that are designed to protect the minority from the majority. These people don't understand that.
Here we go. We have Oregon, Washington, California, New Mexico, Colorado... Minnesota, Illinois, New York, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey.
So all the like hard blue states?
Delaware, Vermont, and Maine. It's either New Hampshire or Vermont. I get those two mixed up. Yeah, so all the Democrat states.
I mean, I could see how that could backfire badly.
So bad.
For them.
Especially,
Can you imagine somebody like Trump runs and wins the popular vote?
And all of that
goes to him. I see the only caveat they have there. The compact would take effect only if supporters secure pledges of states with at least 270 electoral votes. I'm not exactly sure what they mean by that.
So it's enacted. The states I read to you, they've been enacted.
Right.
Pending 79 electoral votes, so enough to get past 270. Nevada, Arizona, Alaska. Oh, Hawaii has passed it. I missed Hawaii. Nevada, Arizona, Alaska. What's the one above Oklahoma? Kansas. Right? Big giant rectangle. Yes. Kansas, Michigan, both Carolinas, and Virginia. So if they pass it, then the compact is complete, and no matter what the national vote is, all of their votes will go to that candidate. Stupid. So stupid and extremely dangerous. Because you're basically telling presidential candidates you only have to visit these most populated areas. Mm-hmm. This is the only place you have to spend any kind of campaign money. It's the only place you have to worry about any kind of voter concerns are these extremely populated areas. Mm-hmm. Well, Texas has a lot of populated... Yep, they will go to Houston. And that's it.
Mm-hmm. You visit the most populous city in every state. And a couple of the bigger states you visit too.
Uh-huh.
And that's it. You win.
You win. Done.
You no longer have to care about anybody.
And what's the mindset of the people in those most populated areas?
Retarded.
Democrat. Yes.
Oh.
Same thing. Progressive. There you go. fixed it. It's progressive. Because there's retarded Republicans too.
Yes, there is. And that's why I said it that way. Because it doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. People in big populous cities, they live a different life. They live a sheltered life. I mean, how many times have we seen stories about people? I mean, I don't want to make fun of the mentally ill, but vegans talking talking about it, you know, the cows, the meat, the difference. They don't understand how any of it works. You know, meat is murder. Well, but how many animals had to die to grow your plants? You have no idea because you don't know how farming works. You don't know how any of it works.
We need to conserve water as they eat their water-soaked nuts and berries.
I kill one animal, and one animal will feed me and my family for months. Mm-hmm. You kill 50 plus animals, and those 50 plus animals will feed you for a few weeks.
Mm-hmm. It's not supposed to make sense. It's just supposed to do what I want it to do.
Yeah, the funniest freaking thing to me is all of the activist people and these different things that are spouting all this stuff about, save the animals, save whatever, and they have no concept of how any of it works.
None.
And they're just spouting bull crap because they've got whatever vendetta. It's stupid. And then how many people have you heard about that are like, well, why would I go hunting when I can just go to the store and not have to kill an animal to get my food?
Do you know where chocolate milk comes from? Yeah, brown cows.
Brown cows, yeah. What do we need farms for? I get my food from the grocery store.
Farms are smelly.
Right?
It's the same people that move into the townhouse right next to the dump and then complain about the constant smell and force the dump to be relocated somewhere else.
Not to take a personal stab at people that live where I live, but do you know how often people move out here and they're like, what are those loud explosions? And it's like, have you never talked to anyone from Eagle Mountain before you moved here?
You know that big military base?
There's a huge military. There's two huge military bases right next to us, and both of them run drills all the time.
Yeah,
and one of them is used to detonate expended artillery and things like that.
Yeah, for practice.
Well, like they are also like disposing of expired artillery and things like that. Yeah. So. Like there's tons of explosions out here all the time. Like it shakes houses out here.
Yeah.
Without fail,
the Tooele side, there's all kinds of
that's the side I'm talking about. Yeah.
Giant depots of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's without fail, every week there's a post. What's that loud banging sound? What are those explosions? What's going on? Why is my house shaking? Like Do you not like? Did you check the schools? I hope you checked schools before you moved out here. Like, did you look at how far the gas station is away? Did you not do a simple Google search of the town that you were looking at moving to?
Just so up in my neck of the woods, up in the Heber Valley. A couple of the kids know when springtime is here because the Apache helicopters start flying around up in Heber.
Yes.
Because spring is their rotation, is the airport up there. It's their rotation for practice.
Yeah.
And the kids like 10 years old and younger, all over the place, know it's springtime there. Why?
Because the Apaches are flying.
Because the Apaches are flying. And they know that because, they actually learned things
It's Apache migration season. It's Apache migration season. Everybody, Apaches migrating. Springtime.
Isn't that offensive to indigenous peoples?
Okay. If you are offended by having one of the most amazing war machines ever created named after you, then yes, it's offensive. But I don't know why you would be offended by that.
I know.
You're stupid and you should just stop.
If they invented some new aircraft that was beyond comparison and they named it the Trevor something or other, I would think it's stupid to name it that. However, I would be extremely honored.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, can you imagine how Geronimo feels? That man has every stupid thing that every teenage boy has ever done in his name.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the dumbest of the dumb election laws.
Yeah.
Honorable mention would be electronic voting, but I didn't really have a story necessarily to throw in for electronic voting to complete the Mount Rushmore of dumb voting laws for myself. Because before electronic voting, we had the election results that night. Unless it was extremely close. Then it took a few more days to recount and recount. Joseph Robinette Biden
Yay.
was talking taxes.
Oh, good. Is he going to cut taxes in order to try to get ahead on the election?
In a speech to electrical union members in Washington.
He said, I'm here to cut taxes.
He said that Donald Trump was very proud of his $2 trillion tax cut when he was president that overwhelmingly benefited the wealthy and the biggest corporations and exploded the federal debt, Biden said of his predecessor.
Because it was cutting back what was taken from the people that made the debt get bigger. Mm-hmm. Not spending more money than we've ever actually made.
Yeah. This coming from the mouth of a man that doesn't know the difference between the debt and the deficit. He said there's no exaggeration here. It's going to expire. And if I'm reelected, it's going to stay expired.
So he's arguing to not get reelected?
He's going to allow the Trump tax cuts to expire in 2025.
So he's arguing to not get reelected.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah,
you could just wear a sign that says, don't reelect me.
That cut taxes across the board for everyone from like 3 to 6%, depending on which bracket you fell into.
I want to infiltrate his staffers.
I know.
Simply because I want to punk him by like slipping things onto his.
You want to be the teleprompter guy?
Teleprompter.
Why'd you type that? You know he reads everything on there.
Wait, no. Why are you typing that? Stop. I'm dictating.
Yeah. And the video clip of it, like, it's met with confused applause.
Why are you saying the quiet part out loud?
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure the audience there understood, like, hold on. I remember when the Trump tax cut happened, my paycheck was higher. And now you're saying you're going to let that expire. So, but it's against Trump. So,
so I guess we'll see.
Yeah. What's even more fun is the White House had to do some corrective actions. Because apparently the White House made made a statement that the president is simply reiterating what's in his budget. He would let the Trump tax cuts for big corporations and the richest Americans, those making more than $400,000, expire, and extend the tax cuts for those making less than $400,000.
No, that's not what he said.
In fact, his budget would further cut taxes for the middle class and working families. He has said that repeatedly and in every budget. Trump and Republicans are responsible for the egregious and fiscally reckless cliff that is in the Trump tax cuts. They are the reason taxes will rise for the middle class after 2025.
You know what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut taxes for everybody that's in the middle and lower end classes, and then we're gonna make it so that the middle class people are actually, in order to be considered middle class, you have to make more. We're gonna do this with inflation. Wow.
Yeah.
They're special. They really are.
I love that. The Republicans are the reason taxes will rise for middle class after 2025. Who's in office right now and can fix it? Donald Trump? Oh, no, Joe Biden is. And, let's see, Democrats are in charge of the Senate, and Democrats are basically in charge of the House.
I love that the New York Post here actually breaks down what letting it expire would do.
Yes.
If the Trump tax cuts are allowed to expire, a single person making $30,000 per year would pay $253.75 more in taxes. Well, that's not a lot. It's a lot when you're only making $30,000 per year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. One person making $75,000 per year, or just a little over double that, would be billed more than $1,700 more.
Yeah, that's more than a week's paycheck for me.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A married couple with 2 children making $165,000 annually. Is that what you're supposed to be making as a married couple with 2 children?
Well, I've got 4, so.
So you're making more than $165,000.
Rolling.
Yes.
Rolling.
Yes.
I tell my work to pay me in pennies, so it feels like I'm getting paid more.
I assume that this is supposed to be indicative of the middle class. So if a $165,000 married couple with 2 children is middle class, I'm not it.
Whoa,
they would pay.
Wait, you mean the middle class has shifted up under Joe Biden?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah. They would annually pay $2,450.50 more than in the previous year, while a family with 3 kids pulling in $200,000 per year will shell out almost $7,500 more per year.
But it's okay. They can afford that.
Yeah. But do you see the imbalance here? That's the ticket. You see the imbalance because there's a pretty big imbalance there. I think, and this is just me, but I think we should just go to a flat tax.
I think there should be 0 tax on your income. And just do a consumer tax. Here,
I can see that. I can see that argument as a good one. I actually think it would be easier to go the other way. Tax nothing else. Flat tax on your income.
that would be easier. However, may I throw in option 2?
No breaks,
option
no
3.
no nothing. It's a flat tax. Everybody pays flat tax.
Option 3.
Option 3.
The states are the only one that pay taxes to the federal government.
Yes. Deal.
And it's a percentage of whatever state's GDP.
Yeah. Yeah. See, my problem with doing a purchase tax instead of a income tax, even if you switch it to the states, is that then property tax and property purchase tax.
If it's a one-time thing of you bought the property, here's the tax, and then they don't touch you after that, I could be persuaded that way. But that's never what they'll do.
Yeah. That's why I say no.
Yeah.
We just nix it all. They aren't allowed to tax anything at all. They can get a flat amount off of increase, and that's it. Mm-hmm. You can't, no more of this triple and quadruple taxing bullshit. I don't want to get taxed when I buy something with the money that I got taxed on.
I see that your investment did really well and you sold it the year that you bought it, so we're going to tax you at 55%. Why? You already taxed me on the money that I spent into it. Yes, but you earned a lot of money within a year. And?
Yeah.
Well, we need to take more than half of it. Why? Because you made a lot of money. But why? Yeah.
Why do you deserve the money I earned more than I deserve the money I earned?
So I made a 300% profit because I happened to pick the right cryptocurrency for the year. If I picked the wrong cryptocurrency and had a 300% decrease,
would you be paying me
would
for
I get
my
a
decrease?
refund in my taxes? No. Oh, interesting how that works.
Yeah.
It's all 9 donkeys of asinine.
All they do is take. That's it. That's all they know how to do.
Mm-hmm. However, I have something exciting.
But yes, I am also amenable to no income tax and tax other things as long as it's a flat tax and it's a one-time thing, not repeatedly all the time on everything. I'm still pissed that I've been paying for other people's school since I was 22 years old.
There's that.
And my child won't even go to public school.
I have for you a fabulous video from Ukraine.
Oh, good. This is from Ukraine?
Yeah, this is Ukrainian.
Why does this look like
Ukrainian
the US
lawmakers
Congress?
Very excited that they got some stuff done to end the war. Right here. So they're proudly waving. Oh, what's that American flag doing there?
Isn't that weird?
That's weird. They got the American flag there, and that looks like the back of Matt Gaetz's head. Must be his doppelganger in Ukraine. No, this wasn't Ukraine. I'm sorry.
That's the U.S. House of Representatives.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Thomas Massey posted the video. This is the U.S. House of Representatives under the direction of Speaker Mike Johnson. Democrats are celebrating his total capitulation with no victory for securing our border. Follow-up. He retweeted it and said, instead of fining Democrats for waving flags, the House Sergeant at Arms just called and said, I will be fined $500 if I don't delete this video. Mike Johnson really wants to memory hole his betrayal of America.
Oh, that sounds like $500 Thomas Massey is going to be happy he spent.
Yeah.
Retweet that.
Retweeting. Where's
Good.
the button for it?
It's the little circle arrows.
Repost.
Repost. Right. It's not tweeting anymore because it's X, not Twitter. Tweet it. Oh, did you hear that they rebuilt MySpace?
Did they really?
They did.
You two are still living?
Did. Gen Z has recreated MySpace as no space. There's currently a 380,000 person long wait list to get a page on no space. And I am all for it.
I am all for it.
I've never been so happy about something coming back that has been gone in my life. Because I don't know if you remember this, but MySpace was the pinnacle of social media.
Peak social media.
It was the peak. Mm-hmm. It was always better than Facebook. It was incredibly underrated.
Yes.
I remember all my friends getting Facebook and telling me I needed to get Facebook.
Oh, yeah, MySpace let you do the theme songs and stuff,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, and you could it taught you how to do HTML coding because you could completely customize your entire page. It was awesome.
So you're saying MySpace could become my space?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you could pick your top 10 friends.
It was the Burger King of social media. You could have it your way.
Exactly. It was.
Back when Burger King was decent.
Yes. It's very much better than the McDonald's Facebook of social media. And you always had a friend in Tom. Most people don't remember that, but you always had a friend in Tom.
Always. He was there.
He was.
Yeah. So I have some good news.
Oh, good.
Rocky Mountain Power. I should read the headline here. It's the Salt Lake Tribune. A horrible news publication. Now knowing that. In climate setback, Rocky Mountain now says it plans to burn coal in Utah until 2042. They were supposed to stop this year. This year or next year, I think. Because they were trying to shut down the coal plants. We've talked about that.
Yes. It was the dumbest idea ever.
And it was so dumb that the state had to step in and say, you guys are morons. We're going to starve for power. And so Rocky Mountain Power is like, you know what? You're right. So we're going to go ahead and keep burning coal. In climate setback.
There is one thing that I am a little sad about with this. They were planning on building 2 nuclear plants for this.
Yes.
And they are no longer going to build those.
Yeah. There is that.
I do wish they would build those.
I would think that they would still build them because they're still planning on retiring the coal plants by 2042. And last I checked, building a nuclear plant, you can do that overnight, right?
No.
Oh, it takes a decade or 2.
Yes.
Oh, and let's see, they pushed it out. Oh, a decade or 2. That will be fine. Who is this? Tim Fitzpatrick. I think we've probably gone through some of his stuff before. Oh, he's even got the ozone argument. He's trying to bring that back to life. The updated plans include extensions to the assumed operational life of certain thermal generating resources, as well as adjustments to the company's energy storage acquisition strategy, customer demand forecasts, and general resource pricing updates. Yes, all of freaking California moved either in or through Utah. So we kind of have more people.
They are still building the plant in Wyoming, though. So that'll be good.
Good. A nuclear plant?
Yes.
Good.
In, was that Kemmerer?
Yeah. No more nuclear. Fewer renewables, more carbon. Yeah. It's mostly just for the headline. It was just so satisfying. In climate setback, we're going to still have electricity.
We have the most terrible news. None of you are going to starve or freeze to death next winter because the legislature has decided to let you keep having power.
I am a generous God. In their general session earlier this year, Utah legislators went the opposite way from their West Coast counterparts, passing a bill this year that makes Rocky Mountain's coal plants the state's preferred power source. That bill doesn't go into effect until May, but it is still likely figured into the utility's decision to keep the coal plants going. Yes, because if they decide to shut it down, Utah confiscates them. That's why. All your land does belong to us. SB 224 essentially upended the paradigm that made the utility prove to the PSC it was choosing the least cost, least risk options for providing power. Instead, the PSC must now assume the coal plants are the best options, and it's up to others to prove they aren't. Yes, and we proved it when they tried to do this because they were going to do the electrolysis plant, which takes an extreme amount of power and water to make hydrogen to burn in a plant that could have already been using coal to burn, which is more reliable of a source than hydrogen farmed out of water in a desert state that has no major reservoirs near where they were planning to build it, so it would have to be pumped out of the aquifers underground that the surrounding farming community relies on to grow food. Oh, we're surrounded by morons.
Yeah, the original plan included adding more than 17 gigawatts of solar and wind power and more than 8 gigawatts of battery storage. By comparison, the capacity of the two coal plants is about 2.5 gigawatts. Really? Is that all? That can't be right. I guarantee those coal plants produce more than that.
This guy, all of his stories. So he's the renewable energy reporter for the Salt Lake Tribune.
What? He is so full of shit. That is so full of shit. What the hell?
What'd you find?
Okay, so they were going to add 17 gigawatts of solar and 8 gigawatts of battery storage, right? So that's a total of, well, what would that be, 25 gigawatts of energy? And the 8 has to be produced somewhere else and just stored, right, somehow, right? So that's 25 gigawatts of energy. And he's saying that the coal plant produces 2.5 gigawatts.
The coal plant?
Yes.
False.
Two of them together produce 2.5 gigawatts.
False. I don't even know anything about the math, and I know that's wrong.
30.8
Correct. Yeah.
terawatts.
Is that more than a giga?
That's more than 100 giga. That's roughly 30,000 giga.
So it's more?
Yes.
I'm not the best at math on the fly, but that sounds like more.
Yeah.
My goodness.
I mean, granted, that's between 5. They have 5 total power plants in Utah. And allegedly there's only 2 of them that he's talking about in this. But even if you look at that.
So, one of his other articles is 18 Utah cities and towns still want clean energy even as Rocky Mountain Power backs off. And I'm looking at the things. It's these 18 communities were hoping to piggyback on Rocky Mountain's clean power purchases, but now they are trying to go it alone and set up their own power purchase agreements with solar and wind energy producers. Park City is one of them, of course, and a bunch of Salt Lake County things. But it's just, yeah, good luck with that. Go ahead and place a giant solar farm in Francis, Utah, to power all of Francis.
We produce 37,000 gigawatts of energy per year, and almost
Gigawatts or terawatts?
gigawatt, 37,000 37,000 gigawatts.
Oh, okay.
So that would be 37 terawatts.
Terawatts. Gotcha.
Right. So gigawatt hours. So 37,000 gigawatt hours. On average, 30 to 37-ish gigawatt hours. 1,000 gigawatt hours per year of electricity is what Utah produces. How much do we use?
I presume it's less than that because we sell some of it to California. Unless that's count as part of the use. Did you find it?
In 2022, it was 33,000 gigawatt hours that we used. Produced 37.
And
We used 33.
Oh, interesting.
But that doesn't make any sense.
So these towns and cities that want to do the green energy route on their own, early estimates predicted that the renewable option would run about 7% higher than regular service. Rocky Mountain Power is already overpriced on their energy. And you're going to go and up it by 7%? Yeah, we're hoping the people of our cities will adopt that. Yeah, good luck. I'm guessing you're not going to focus on the 7% part of it. That's it's early estimate predicts that. Okay, so it's going to be more like a 15% increase.
Nope. So 30 to 37,000 gigawatt hours is how much we use.
Oh.
We produce 42,000 gigawatt hours per year. 42.5. And we are a net exporter, which means we use about 80% of what we produce and then sell the other 20
To California.
to California and other states. Yeah. And so the 37,000 that we that was 2020, and it was our 20-year low of production for energy for Utah. And then we usually produce around 42,000, and we generally use about 30,000.
Seems like that's the way that it should be.
Yes, it is the way it should be. And what happened around 2020 that made it so that we didn't produce as much as we usually do?
Donald Trump.
Yes, precisely.
I mean, in a roundabout way, yes.
Yeah. Isn't that was it 2020 when Biden came and marked all that federal land in Utah?
Oh, was it the Bears Ears thing?
I think so.
Or something like that? Just found another article in that Doomkampf's thing, Tim Fitzpatrick. Apparently, Utah was trying to ship excess coal, through California and ship it overseas. And California said, no, you can't ship that through our ports. And apparently a judge in California is saying, no, hold on, wait a minute. But even still, the city of Oakland, where the proposed coal port would be, is saying absolutely no coal will pass through our city. You guys don't have to burn it. It's cleaner than the crap you got in your streets anyway, but literally crap in your streets.
Yeah. So in 19, Trump reduced the amount of federal land in Utah. And then in 2020, Biden
Reversed it.
reversed it.
Yeah.
When he got put in office, he reversed it.
Mm-hmm. Love him so much.
So it probably didn't have the effect on it that I was thinking it did because it was only a year apart. But
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, yeah, Utah produces a lot of energy and a lot of oil and a lot of all the other things.
And a lot of coal.
And it's no wonder why the federal government keeps seizing our land.
Yeah.
The federal government owns more of Utah than Utah does.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the only states that's regulated more than Utah is Alaska, I think. There's more oil sanctions on Alaska than there is on Venezuela.
Right. Well, anyway, that's it for today.
That's it. That's all we got.
That's all we got.
And the closing follow-up button was see if he remembered.
You went full retard, man.
His memory is sharp.
Like a tack.
Like a tack. His memory is sharp like a tack. That's a phrase. That's a phrase.
I was going to say like a paper clip, but I thought I would give myself a little more credit. I mean, you could shove a paper clip through a wall if you try hard and believe in yourself, but why would you want to?
You could.
That's the real question.
Could.
Why would you want to? You're going to try to redeem us after that? Or
There is no redemption.
There is
that
no
could be had
redemption.
from that. Unless, of course, you visit Redemption Tactical. In which case, modicum amount of redemption could be achieved with all of their wonderful tactical things. You can find a link to that below, as well as links to all the socials. Check out our locals, because that's where we're going to be posting full links of everything.
Yes.
On our locals page, because, well, the website thing we're using wanted to charge us umpteen amount.
It was a lot.
It was ridiculous.
and YouTube has now nixed our advanced features.
Because we didn't follow community
Guidelines or whatever.
I saw that as like, I don't even know if I should still post on YouTube. We get better engagement on Rumble than we do on YouTube.
That's because YouTube throttles everything. So
No. They assure Congress that never happens.
never.
They testified even.
Never. I mean, they're owned by Google. And
Yeah.
Google just came out and said, we're not a political company.
Right. So it's fine. It's fine.
Our business is about making money, not about politics.
Is it?
That's what they said. Pretty sure that's what they said. I'm not exactly sure if they understand the implications of that, but
That's what they said.
it's what they said.
Like, subscribe, share, all those fun things. Galatians 4:16. Bye.
Did you make an outro clip yet?
Of course not.
Do we have an outro clip? Do we even have an outro clip? Does one exist?
Just waiting
Just waiting for it.
for an outro. A whole new outro.
It's
A
terrible.
dazzling scene that hardly anyone sees.
All right, I'm going to cut you off.
What's even better is this is at the end.
Yes, it's the best. They still won't know what's
The
going on.
sweet cherry on top.
Sweet cherry on top. Eyes to see.
Buttons to push.
Yes, indeed.
I believe that's how the scripture goes.
Generally speaking, red means go.
Let's go.
Stop means yes.
Yes. The old, the oft-forgotten verse of the Beatitudes of, if there are buttons to push, thou must push them.
Yes.
Are you
Especially,
speaking metaphorically or physically? Yes.
especially emotional ones. If there's an emotional button, it must be smashed repeatedly.
Button. Who's got the button?
That's why children are the way that they are. It's a law of life. They must smash the buttons.
Some of you have never held flashlights for your father while changing stuff on a car, and it shows.
Yes. Yes. Where did you learn to talk like that?
When you told me to go out and help Dad. Yeah, okay.
You're right.
Deserve that.
You're right. That's my fault. Indeed. Didn't think that one through, did you, Mom? Yes. Well, shall we then?
I guess we shall.
Is it time to shall?
It's shalling time.
Yes. You gave everyone the clap already?
The clap has been dispersed.
Good. Now you've got the clap. Who are you giving it to?
Well, no, I gave the clap. So
Yes, I was talking to our listeners.
Oh, I see. Yes, that was
Breaking the fourth wall.
It's got to be my favorite type of comedy.
Deadpool? Yes. All of the Dude, I'm reading.
Deadpool, Phineas and Ferb.
I'm not reading. I'm listening to an awesome book series that is very Deadpool-esque.
Oh, good.
It's called The Perfect Run, and it's about this this alternate world where everybody was given superpowers, basically. And the main character has the ability to make a save point and go back in time.
Dude.
So his superhero name is Quick Save. So he just repeatedly does the same like stretch of time over and over again until he finishes it perfectly. And so it's like full of video game references and stuff like that. But the character is very, very reminiscent of Deadpool.
100% would never abuse that power.
Oh yeah, no,
Never.
like somebody. Some mutant crushes his car and he gets pissed and pulls an A-bomb out of his jacket and detonates the entire city.
Because I can.
In retribution and resets himself. Like it's very Deadpool-esque and it's really funny. It's a good book.
It's Groundhog Day, but you actually have control over the reset.
Precisely.
I like it.
It's very
I'm a god.
right. My name is Quick Save. I'm immortal, but don't tell anybody. You see, that's the way he introduces himself to everyone. I'm immortal, but don't tell anybody. You literally just told everyone. Yeah, don't tell anybody.
All I can think of is the YouTube videos.
I'm immortal. Haven't you heard?
Viva La Dirt League,
Yes.
where he does the quick save thing.
Yes.
Does the quick save right before he falls off a cliff.
Yes.
So then he's forced to load his last hard save, and it's the very beginning of the game. The dangers of quick save.
Yes. It's great. It's great story. But anyway, I digress. We were about to start, weren't we?
We were about to hit a thing and do a thing and
push buttons.